Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to the TGIF Talks, episode 94. 94, 95?
98.
No, we're not that close to 100 yet. 94. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by co-host Anonymous Phil.
Yes?
Roll the intro.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our weeks have been, followed by the news, followed by your comment, followed by a random 4th topic. Today's 4th topic is the return to the panhandle. Or, yeah.
Panhandling.
What? What? Okay, we'll get into that.
What?
What? Anyways, so how has your week been?
Interesting.
Well, that's not much, is it?
I mean, I guess I got a toolbox after working there for 5 months. It's been a work in the making, you know.
Yeah.
I've been, just slowly collecting more tools. To do the job or whatever. And usually I just throw them in my drawer. Because there's plenty of room. I mean, honestly, I don't think I probably would ever have to get a toolbox, but it's becoming cluttered.
Organization. That's what you needed, was organization. And that's what a toolbox provides.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, it would help organize things. So. Make my job more efficient.
What did I do this week? 2 weeks. Oh, I had something, and then it slipped my mind, and now I can't remember. Well, I DJ'd a wedding. That was something. I did that. Not that you're asking, but...
How long are you still at this current branch?
And I don't know until I get better at my job. Who knows?
Well, I thought you decided to switch.
I didn't get that job.
Oh, you didn't get it?
No. They gave it to... Funny enough, they gave it to the part-timer from my branch.
Part-timer?
Yes, because they...
Why did he get the luxury?
Because they felt like they wanted to... they didn't want to pick up where somebody else is kind of basically leaving off then, on my training. They didn't want to pick up from where I was leaving off. They'd rather just start fresh, and so they did that.
Oh, because this part-timer, doesn't have much training under the belt?
For banker-wise, he has none.
Oh, so it's just easier just to start him from the beginning.
Yeah.
Other place.
Rather than trying to figure out, okay, where are you? Okay, here's how you learn. Let's keep going with that. And
here's how you learn.
Right. Well, anyways, so big issues. So no big deal. It's whatever. I don't really care, except for gas prices now hitting $4 a gallon.
I know. I just spent $4.01 the other day.
I just saw $4.09.
I know.
What the? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And, funny enough, had I not bought the chairs, well, I would have no issues of getting to the 15th. But since I'm missing $100 from my bank account that I otherwise would have, I am going to struggle to make it to the 15th because of how much gas I have to buy this week.
You can't just borrow from your trip fund and repay yourself?
I'd rather not.
Oh.
Because it's like, I don't want to transfer the money into my account and then do it again.
Oh, you're taking money out and transfer. Oh, well.
I don't want to transfer it out and then have to do it again. I'd rather just make it to the 15th and then transfer all the stuff I need for the trip all at once. I don't want to do multiple transfers.
Well, see, I just keep everything in one account and just keep track of my budgeting, knowing how much I need to spend. And I mean, yeah, it's probably easier to put it, in separate accounts and just look at, oh, this is all the money I have to spend. But I just look at the dollar amount and know, okay, I'm getting close. Need to start being more frugal with my money.
Well, I have a savings account. I have 2 savings accounts. One is for my car. One is for my. I have 3 accounts. I've got my checking account. I've got a savings account for my car insurance, and then I've got just a savings account that I just use it for whatever. And that's got the bulk of my money in it. And then I just at the end of the month, so on the 15th, whatever I dump, whatever I have left into there, plus it gets $20 every other week.
Mm-hmm.
Issue is, I'm missing $100 from my account. And because I had to go to the wedding, and I have to go get my hair cut Saturday, and then I have to go Thursday, and then I have to mow Saturday, and then I have a graduation party Friday, I'm not going to have any money left. Because I'm going to have to buy gas, I think, probably twice. I'm already at 100 miles. And then I'm going to have to buy gas. Oh, God. After Omaha, or maybe even in Omaha. I'll try and buy in Omaha. I think Omaha usually has cheaper gas. But it's like, because that's a 100-mile round trip right there.
Yeah. And you can do what? 300 on the tank?
A little over, yeah. But it's just, it's not ideal. Plus,
I think I just spent $50 the other day.
Well, I'm actually missing $160 because I got my oil changed. And God, they robbed me blind. I don't know. I'm never getting my oil changed ever again by a professional. I'm just going to have Will do it because I'll just bring my truck in and be like, here, you owe me a free tire rotation because I bought your tires from you. And
that's what I do. I just change my own oil. Well, usually, if I go home and Dad's already in the shed, sometimes he'll just do it for me.
Right.
I have changed my own oil before.
But I wasn't expecting it to be $60 frickin'. And you would think, oh, it's the labor. No. The labor was $11.
What?
Yeah. $11 of labor. The oil was $40.
What?
$40 of oil. I'm like, what?
They must upcharge you a lot because I feel like, I don't buy the oil.
The oil's supposed to be the cheap part.
I think Dad was selling the oil's like $18.
It is. For everyone else in the world, oil is dirt cheap. But they must have upsold the oil like, I don't know. Yes, it was Valvoline synthetic, full synthetic, so maybe that has something to do with it, but good God. It shouldn't cost that much. Now, granted, I'm hoping they put a high cycle filter in it that will allow me to go 5,000 miles.
Oh, yeah, because they also, well, I guess, I don't know, how much is a new oil filter?
Not that much. $10.
$10?
If that. Hell, oil filters can last longer than the oil itself anymore.
Yeah.
But you should
but
always...
aren't you usually supposed to replace the oil filter when you refuel oil?
Yes, but you should always refill it. You should always replace it anyways because, well, it's an oil filter. It's not. Anyways, because it's going to have all the old crappy oil in it. And you don't want to dirty up all your
it's still
new
going to have
oil.
the old residue.
Yeah, you don't want to dirty up your new oil. Anyways, so it's like, I'm never doing that again. Freaking, I guess I did get a multi-point inspect. They do a multi-point inspection. So, but $11 of labor. I now
That's like-
know my tread
Wait,
depth
how
on
long
my
were you
tire.
waiting?
A long time.
Hey, so they got you a good deal because no way. Because if it took you more than an hour,
I was
minimum
there for
wage is
2
like-
hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they charged you labor, that should be like $20 because labor is $20 an hour or something.
Yep.
And that's if they want to make no money off of you, because all that money just has to go, straight back to you. The employee. The company doesn't get to keep any of the labor money, which is why they upcharge the labor costs. So I'm not sure what they mean by it took them 2 hours, but they only charged you 11.
Yep.
They must be making a lot of money from that filter and oil.
The filter was a regular price. It was the freaking oil. Oil was $40. $40 for 5 quarts. Unbelievable.
So that's what, $8 a quart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't think I could go to Walmart and buy the oil I need, if you even can, buy them in individual quarts for cheaper.
Yeah. Well, that's what child labor force is for.
Yep, he's like, I can change your oil next time. I'm like, well, you're going to. I could have given you
You're
a
going
$10
to.
bill plus oil and that crap, and I'd still come up on top.
Yeah.
Granted, he won't.
$10 bill. Thank you for your
Granted,
service, sir.
Granted, he won't be able to rotate my tires. I mean, he says he would be able to, but I would just rather take that to somebody. But the oil,
Well, I mean,
the tire rotation was free.
Rotating tires, you just have to make sure that you do it in the right order, right?
Yeah.
Rotate them in the right order and make sure that you put the right torque on your lug nuts. Your wheels don't go flying off and you go down the road.
We don't have torque wrenches though, so we'd have to take it to our uncle just
You don't
to
have a
rotate
torque
tires.
wrench?
No, most people don't.
Oh, my dad does. I thought
Your dad's not most people.
Oh.
Your
I
dad's a
thought most-
gearhead.
Oh.
Your dad
I
is...
thought everyone had a torque wrench.
No, it's on my list of tools I want to get, but no, most people do not have torque wrenches.
Make sure you get one of the fancy ones that lock. That, like snap at the value enter.
They're all supposed... Oh, it's not just like a continuous thing. It actually like locks into place.
Yeah, how does it work? Yeah, like it breaks off after you. So I think it's so you don't over torque it, but like it breaks off after you hit the torque value that you set it at. So say you set it at like 80 foot-pounds, it'll break off when you hit it to that value.
They all do that. They all go click, and then you're done.
Oh, that's what they all do?
Yeah.
Well, the torque wrenches that we have at work, it's like a meter. It has like a dial, and as you rotate it, it keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up, but it never clicks.
Oh.
And it's because it's supposed to be a sliding torque. Like you're supposed to measure the torque value when the nut is in motion. It's not like a static torque. And I think it's that way the nuts do not undo themselves in the aircraft from vibration. So they have like some sort of locking thread.
Yeah, torque values are really complicated. If you ever watch AVE, when he does stress tests of tools, I don't even know why I watched them. I don't understand half wrenches, that is. I don't even understand half the crap he's saying. It's all just like, oh, that's interesting. Torque value, interesting. And different this, different that. Tensile strength this, tensile strength that. And it's like, oh, man, I see why he has a degree in engineering, I think, of some sort.
I think. He acts like it.
I mean, he gets up there and he's
like it.
He gets up there, he's like, torque value this, torque value that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Very interesting, very interesting, yeah. No, yeah, every torque wrench. Most torque wrenches, anyways. At least the ones I've ever seen. I haven't got to use one, actually. You just click.
Click.
Next lug nut. Click.
Click.
We had a really big one at the co-op. Because it was...
You also didn't have a bandsaw.
Well, no, we had a really big one. I guess we didn't have a bandsaw. No, we didn't have a drill press.
Oh, a drill press. That's right. I didn't have a drill press.
We couldn't have a drill press, OSHA, for whatever reason. But you said you guys have a drill press at...
Yeah, I forgot. I was going to take a picture of it. And then... Because actually, I was over in that area today.
Well, maybe it's not an OSHA thing. Maybe it's literally because they don't want to buy one.
I mean, it is like stuffed in a corner. I don't know if anyone ever uses it. It looks like it's just sitting there gathering dust.
They might not be allowed to use it.
I'm not even sure if it's plugged in. I just saw it the other day in the corner. I was like, oh, look, a drill press. I thought we couldn't have them.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Anyway, yeah. So, no, yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
I don't know where I was going, but... No, we had a really, really big torque wrench, but I mean, this is meant for putting on tires on sprayers and tractors, so and semis. So this thing is huge.
Tractors with wheels, the diameter, the height of you.
Yep, or sprayers.
Really?
So, yeah, they were almost as tall as I was, if not taller.
You know, I never realized how big the wheels are on the pivots, you know, out in like cornfields.
Oh yeah, they look
like
tiny.
They're freaking as big as me.
Oh, they're not that big.
Some of them were. It felt like they were like 4 feet.
I guess you were. I don't know how much shorter you were during detasseling. Probably not.
I mean,
much
okay,
shorter.
I was knocking on the door of 5 foot.
Oh.
But I could barely see over it. Okay.
Okay.
It's like I bet these things were at least like 48 inches in diameter. They were huge.
Probably depends on the pivot.
It also probably didn't help that the rows were cultivated, and so you know I might have been sitting down, standing a little lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, they felt as big as I was. I was like, this is kind of intimidating. It's a wheel.
Yeah, I never quite understood how detasseling, how they're like, yeah, let's get a bunch of kids. What the heck?
Let's get a bunch of kids, have them wake up at crack to dawn.
I didn't want to say it's the podcast, but there we go.
Crack to dawn and go out there, work 10 hours, get paid a few bucks over minimum wage to make it feel like it was worth it.
No, I thought they paid you below.
No, they paid you a little bit. I think I was making $9 an hour when minimum wage was $7.25.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so they probably still only pay $9.25. They probably just pay minimum now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you work like 5 a.m. to 2 or 3.
Yeah, but wasn't it just like a set amount you got paid?
No, you got paid by the hour.
Oh, okay. Well,
we got paid by okay, let me put it this way. There were some fields where you actually got paid by how many rows you did. Or no, that was your bonus. You got like a bonus check. Because like they want to incentivize the people that are hardworking, and going through rows. And so that was like your bonus.
Yeah, I never understood, like, let's get a bunch of little kids to go take tassels off of corn that's way taller than them.
Yeah. Well, some of them are. I mean, I think there was only one time, one field where the tassels were like 8 feet tall. And it's like, how do you expect me to do this? But I'd say on average, me at 5 feet, they were within arm reach, not having to go on tiptoes. Like I could reach up and grab it.
Oh, I
don't know what that is, like 7 feet maybe?
God, your shoulders must have been just trashed. Just constantly working above your head. I'd hate.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no. Instead, I didn't have to. I didn't have to work on tasks.
You didn't have to work.
I just had to watch cows have sex. So
Yeah,
that was my
pretty
job.
much.
As were
And
you.
sometimes you didn't even do that. You just talked to us.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
brother and I. Sometimes you didn't even do that.
Yeah. Before I move on to the second segment, the Rooster had gone to I don't remember what country.
A country?
Belize. He went to Belize this winter.
Really?
Anyways, yeah. Anyways, and he had some coin and money he didn't want, and so I
Really?
took it. Yeah, I took it.
Do you have any duplicates you're willing to share?
Only in the bills, and I don't know if I'm willing to share.
Why? You have duplicates, right? I love foreign currency.
I give you like 1.5.
Okay.
Well, anyways, that's not the point. The point is the money's
So
not
where
the
were you going with this?
The coin is a 10-sided coin.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's
A
10.
10-sided coin. What is it, a dice?
Well, no. So like most coins are they're round, right? At some
Oh, damn.
they're round. Most countries they're round. The U.S. the
Like it's decahedron.
yeah
No, decagon.
yeah. Fun fact. Okay, we're gonna get to coins here. This is actually at work one time. They were like, "Oh, we'll give it to one of the other." It was a Susan B. Anthony dollar, and like, "Oh, let me hand." And they were trying to figure out how much it was, and they were like, "Well, let me give it over to our coin specialist," which is me because I like coins. Anyways, so interestingly enough, a lot of countries have coins that are that aren't round. They're multi-sided, like this one. Multi-edged, I should say. So this one's a decagon. Anyways, so the Susan B. Anthony coin. So like they had just regular dollar coins, and then they had the Eisenhowers, and then they stopped for several years, and they made the Susan B. Anthony's for like 2 or 3 years. Well, when they were debating on making the Susan B. Anthony, they wanted to make the first U.S. coin, if I'm not mistaken, with that wasn't round. They wanted it to be multi-sided like this. However, vending machine companies were like, no, we're not doing that. It's very hard on the machines, and to have to re-engineer their machines. They're like, nope, we're not doing that. So the Susan B. Anthony coin had it's just like a quarter, and it has okay, that's a bad quarter. Let me find one of my good quarters. They're just like quarters in that they have an edging on them, like dimes. They've got the edge, and if you look at the coin, it's got like it's got a border of like a hexagon or octagon or whatever. Because that's what they wanted for the design of the coin, but the vending machine companies were like, no, we're not doing that. Susan B. Anthony's only ran for like 2 or 3 years, and then we have all the new coins, all the new dollar coins that are we had the Sacagaweas, and then in 2000 they started the presidential run. It was all dead presidents, I think. Anyways, and actually those are interesting. So they're smooth around the edge, but they're engraved in God We Trust in that smooth part, which is very interesting. And this $1 coin from Belize, every other edge is smooth, and the other edge is gripped. So, like, you have one edge that's not, the next edge is, and so on and so forth, all the way around. This would never fly in the U.S. because vending machine companies do not like non-round coins. And they've been making dollar coins ever since then. So, because actually, interesting enough about the dollar coin is that the U.S. government wanted to replace the dollar bills, because even though dollar coins cost more to make, they last a lot longer than $1 bills, and so they're a lot cheaper in the long run compared to $1 bills. And so they made a big thing to try and convert $1 coins. And actually, there was a way that you could buy them online and sell them to a bank and make money.
You know, if they wanted to make even more money, they should round every purchase up to the nearest 5 cents. Like if it costs 1 cent, like 11 cents, you round it up to 15. And that way you never deal with pennies, because a penny costs like 3 cents to make.
Actually, other than the quarter.
And I think the nickel actually costs more to make as well.
Yep. The nickel, so the quarter, the dime, and
No, I think the dime's worth it. I think the dime's just barely worth it, right?
Oh, it's more than worth it. Dimes. Yeah. Well, the dime is worth so.
Well, the dime is tiny.
Well, that's I said of the most, and it's a very simple coin. The dime, interestingly enough, it's very. I wanted to figure out what coin is the most currency dense. Like, can 10 dimes fit inside of a dollar coin? And Eisenhower, yes, but probably not Susan B. Anthony or a regular dollar coin. But I was like, is it the most currency dense? And I would like to do it. I now have a granulated cylinder. I don't know if it's graduated cylinder. I don't know if it's precise enough to do the measurements I need. Unless I did, like, multiple dimes. I gotta get some moon money, though. I'm working on that. I carry ones with me all the time. That way, if we ever get the chance at the bank, and anybody ever brings in a moon dollar, I can get my hands on one. Also, I would like to have them over here so I can fidget with them. This Belize coin, though, this is kind of fun to fidget with. It's got the, it's not a circle. Anyways. Yeah, enough about coins. Oh, yeah. News segment time, the news. Oh, boy. Okay. Share my screen. Oh, God, I have so many things open because I was working on a script. Later, go away. Anyways, space.com.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking to you. Anyways, so the Event Horizon Telescope has been processing for the past several years the image of the center of the Milky Way galaxy, which is supposed to be released. They're looking to make an announcement. Whether that is the actual image, some people are questioning, maybe not. But it is possible that we will see the first image of the black hole Sagittarius A star at the center of our galaxy.
Well, it's about time.
Very exciting. And it'll be much more... Actually, I thought somebody... It should be more high res, although the M87 black hole is much larger than the one at the center of our galaxy. So something... But even though it's so much further away, it's about the same size, maybe bigger than Sagittarius A star, but I don't believe that.
I don't know. I don't know how it works out.
Yeah, I thought Dr. Becky said something like that, but the point is...
I mean, you can do the math. It's just proportions.
Yeah. Anyways, point is, well, I mean, actually, we don't really know the exact size. I don't think they deal with the size. They'd probably just tell me the
Yeah. Look up M87 diameter and distance from Earth.
M87 black hole size. Okay.
Where's my...
Let's do this in kilometers. Because we'll do light years in kilometers.
Okay.
Alright, so you got 38 billion kilometers across. Oh my god.
You can give me the units as they're presented to you, and I'll convert them.
Okay, well, 38 billion kilometers. Okay, never mind,
This
guys.
is M87?
Never mind. You gotta do it in miles. Alright. 23.6 billion miles.
So this is M87, right?
Yeah. 23.6.
M87 diameter is what?
23.6
Diameter is 23.6 what?
billion miles.
Billion miles. Okay.
Okay.
Distance?
Distance from Earth. 55 million light years.
Where's my pen not working? Man. What the hell?
Waiting.
I need to grab a new pen. It works when I scratch it, and then when I write, it doesn't.
Yeah. I hate pens. That's why I always used pencils. I hated pens.
Alright, I got a new pen. Alright, so we have 23.6 billion miles, 55 million light years.
Yep.
Okay? Now, our black hole.
So I was working on.
I'm gonna need to talk to them.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
13.67 million miles.
13.67 million
Yeah.
miles. That's
Yeah.
across.
Yeah.
Okay. And distance? Distance from Earth?
25,640 light years.
25,000? Hello?
Yeah, 25,640.
25.67?
6.4.
64?
25,640 light years.
40,000 light years, right?
25,640 light years.
Yeah. All right. Now let's calculate this. So we're going to have 23.6 e to the 9. They're both in miles, they're both in light years. All right, this will work. Divided by 55 e to the 6. All right, this ratio comes out to 429. Next, we're going to have 13.67 e to the 6 divided by 25.64 e to the 3,000. Ours is bigger.
Okay, so how much bigger though?
Divided by 429. 124%. No. Yeah. 124%.
Well, that's not a large difference. It's a big difference, but not that large of a difference, especially since we're talking about.
Oh, I guess no. Well, so I guess no. Let me rephrase that. It's 124% the size, 24% larger, because 100% would be double. Said that wrong.
Oh, so it's only 24% larger in the
24% larger.
It's
That's
only
how I should have phrased that.
So it's only 24% larger in the sky compared to a black hole that is stupidly far away from us. But that black hole that is stupidly far away from us is so much larger than Sagittarius A.
To be fair, I did not do this in terms of areas, so I hope that does not matter.
I don't know. There's spheres. I don't think it does it? Are black holes spheres, or are they squished because of their spin?
Well, they're spinning. I'd imagine they'd be ovular.
And we
Ovular?
And we did say black holes have different
Elliptical?
densities. And we did say different black holes have different densities, right?
Yeah. Yep. There is not a uniform density for black holes. That is correct. There is not.
Such wild objects. Something like that you would think would have a uniform density, but no. Anyways.
Nope. Universe does not play by those rules.
Yeah, no, I started thinking about it more, like, why do our laws of physics break down as you reach the center of a black hole? And then I remembered quarks, and how when you start to pull quarks apart, you can rip them apart, but they develop a quark out of that reaction.
Yeah.
So, like, you can keep pulling these quarks apart as you get to the center, but, like, you're just gonna make more quarks.
Yeah.
And so, like, at some point, you're making infinite energy, or things just break because of how stupid this happens, you know.
Well, not infinite. I mean, the energy you put in to break them apart, that energy is converted into mass.
Well,
So it's not really infinite energy.
I guess. But, well, anyways, I mean, your energies start reaching infinite.
Because you're putting energy into the system.
Right.
And the system's like, oh, energy. Let's make something of it.
Mass. Quarks. Make quarks. Yeah, but it gets stupid, like, just because as you get closer
At least
to the
that's
center,
how I think it should work.
Yeah. I don't know. They were
I
weird.
am not a particle physicist, so
That is true. We are not. Anyways, yeah, very, very interesting. But yeah. Anyways, Dr. Becky, she made a cool video about the Huh?
Go on.
Where
Learning
she's
platform with hands-on.
No. Okay. Anyways, once this ads are over, we'll watch Dr. Becky's video here, or part of it, anyways.
Let's watch her whole video.
No,
The sun, the moon, all the other planets and objects in the sky.
She talks about constellations changing because the Earth's wobble.
Yes,
Fascinating.
that's
Right?
correct.
But the
But what she's saying is, though, what's crazy is that
Well, we call it a wobble, but it's called precession.
right. Well, anyways, so what will happen in 13,000 years is that Orion will become a summer constellation.
Yes, that's correct.
And what's even crazier is that we will get a better view of the galactic center than the southern hemisphere. So, if you want to freeze yourself for 13,000 years, that
Wait,
way
in the northern hemisphere it gets better?
yeah. It's like living in the southern hemisphere. Obviously, you're still not going to have those globular clusters, which is something that I would love to go to, like Australia or something, just so I can look at those globular clusters. sorry, dwarf galaxies. I mean, like a lot of your questions, but her point is, I would love to go to Australia. Hey guys, subscribe. We're at 485 today. I would love to get enough subscribers so that we could go down to Hawaii, probably New Zealand. New Zealand or Australia, either one will work.
Oh, that would make sense. Because I imagine in the wintertime, when the Milky Way is the best time to see, that's when it's nighttime for us, right?
What?
Did I say that right?
No, I don't know what you said.
No, daytime.
What? The hell? Anyways, guys, subscribe, comment, like, and share so that we can go down to New Zealand or Australia, preferably New Zealand, and look at globular clusters in the winter, of course, because that. Sorry, in the southern hemisphere summer. Oh, that's gonna suck. I'd rather go down in the winter, but yeah, southern hemisphere summer. No, yeah, that'll work. Great. Yeah, we'll go down there to the southern hemisphere summer to look at the center of the galaxy, take some photos, do some really cool. Well, that'd be about it. I don't really know what else you do down there.
Yeah, no, I think that is what I meant.
Okay.
So, in the daytime of the winter months, the Milky Way is high up in the sky, right? In the daytime of the winter for the northern hemisphere. And then it's perfect time to see, and then obviously you can't see it during the nighttime of the winter because the Earth is facing the opposite direction.
Right.
But during the summer, the northern hemisphere is facing basically essentially 90 degrees off. So you're readjusting your tilt.
Right.
That way, instead of facing away, we've now faced towards.
Well, it will also
I think.
be, well, what we call spring and summer will be different. So, our roles with the southern hemisphere will be reversed. It will now be our summer, and it will be their winter.
Yeah,
so in
because
January,
our tilt is different.
Yeah, in January it will be our summer, and yeah, but I think the calendar prevents that. I don't know. She talks about that in here. Gosh, why?
Oh, the calendar prevents that?
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, it fixes it. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Point is, really cool. I thought it was interesting. It's not really news, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. Her night sky news was too long ago at this point. But they've got James Webb. Like, everything's in focus now. They're just waiting for it to cool off and do some more instrument panel stuff.
Mm.
And that's what they're waiting on. It's just to finish cooling off and to get some more and get the instruments up.
It's too warm? Too
Yeah.
hot?
Still too warm. They're waiting for it
From
to
what?
cool up.
From the boosters?
Well, no, she talks about it here. No, it's just too warm because came
How?
from Earth to here.
It's still cooling off?
Yeah, because
What temperature is it trying to reach?
like minus like it's like trying to
4
reach
Kelvin?
It's like 3 or 4 Kelvin.
Really?
Yeah. Well, anyways, so what she says, to get to like 10 Kelvin, it like I don't know, it's mapped out here. To get to like a certain point, it's like super easy or whatever. It's a steady, and then once you get to a certain point, it drops, and then it gets harder or something. Anyways, well, there is a cryo pump. I didn't realize this. It does have a cryo pump.
Mm.
Yeah, to get to this point, it turns the cryo pump on, and then it gets really difficult to drop it even cooler beyond whatever this is. Looks like probably 10 Kelvin. And then once you get past that point, it plummets back down to 4. To the range that they need it to be.
Wait, what?
So, like, naturally cooling, cryo pump on, gets really, really cold. You get to a certain point where it gets really difficult to cool it any faster, and then to cool it any further, and then it drops. Once you get
It drops again?
Yeah, once you get past a certain point.
Why?
Yeah, something with the way that works. Anyways,
I don't understand.
you'd have to watch it. It's also thermodynamics, and she goes, "Yeah, it's thermodynamics." Blah blah.
What? But I took thermodynamics. I got a B plus in the class. Granted, maybe the thing I need to know that the information I missed is maybe the information I need to know. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, this is
The
also
only stuff I don't remember, that I don't know how to do, is the stuff it relies on.
Yeah, I mean, this is also like stupidly cold temperatures, and that's probably like graduate level stuff. Or, majoring in thermodynamics. It requires the next
What I can tell you is in thermodynamics, like 80% of the class, PV equals nRT.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's basically the class.
The gas laws. It's all the gas laws.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
We spend a good chunk of time on the gas laws.
Oh, I'm sure.
It wasn't until like later in the semester when we started talking about solids.
Mm.
And even then.
Oh, so... it's a fourth segment. Yeah. Anyways, you really need to watch some Dr. Becky. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Yeah.
She has some interesting stuff. And she's pretty. And she's
And
British.
she's pretty.
Yeah, it's
British.
It's like the greatest. It's this is like, if I'm going to receive my science information in any format, this is the way I want to receive it.
You want some model teaching you science?
Absolutely.
But then you get distracted and then you stop paying attention.
Okay.
I feel like there's a point where you start getting distracted and you're like, wait, what did you just say?
Okay. Dr. Becky is about as pretty as you can probably maybe get before you get distracted. Not to say that female scientists can't be pretty.
Insult?
Oh, shush. Not that female scientists can't get pretty. At least in my monkey brain eyes, they get too pretty, I won't be able to listen to them. Not that what they're saying is invaluable information and that pretty girls can't be scientists. They absolutely should be. But I'm just saying that in my monkey brain, I won't be able to focus. I'm sorry. I'm a monkey.
I'm a monkey. Monkey see, monkey do.
I have once. Anyways, yeah, there's the issue. Okay.
Selfish desires.
Yeah, I mean, to pass on my genes is like, yeah.
That's the bottom of my bucket list.
Oh man, that's rough. Anyways, whoa, wow, yeah, she got a lot of views from that. Damn, okay, and the interesting. New evidence against dark matter. I probably watched that. I don't.
Against?
Yeah. But well. Yeah, I was just somebody was just talking about dark matter. I was thinking about it a bit more than normal, but again, fourth segment.
Write it down.
Pen, pencil, marker.
Open up a tab, type it in, and then move
I'm
on.
working on, I gotta remember, what's the name? But, Astro, okay. Can we, thank you. Oh, wow, you, screw you, Pin.
Pins.
Yeah.
Gotta love a good pin.
Yeah, I hate pens. I don't know why I have them on my desk. I don't know why I use them. Hurry. Trip. Okay. Anyways, it's time for the third segment. Third segment time. Your comment. Okay, let's go to the channel here. I'll let that just play in the background. No big deal. So yeah, we're at 485 subscribers. We will not make it there before the end of the week unless something hits trending, but that'd be kind of cool. But despite how cool it'd be, unlikely. Anyways, comments. Okay, let me pull up old studio here. Okay, the one comment on the channel is from Solar Frickin' Roadways, DIY number 9, day number 9. Paul Highland said, stupid idea. Well, you know what, Paul? Please explain what part of it's stupid. I literally say in the video, like, it's unlikely that...
As great as that idea would be, part of me is just like, that is going to be a massive undertaking.
That's
to
why
be able to cover the interstate with that.
Actually, the interstate's doesn't even generate. There was not even covering the entire state isn't even enough to power the entire United States. Anyways.
What? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What?
I just heard a squeak, and I don't think it was my chair, meaning it was a fire alarm.
Well, take the headphones off and listen. Well, anyways,
wait, do we even have one in the kitchen? What?
Anyways, on the gaming channel, if we pull it up here,
I might just rip the batteries out. That's not illegal, right?
No. I mean, you could call the people and be like, hey, replace this, but it'd be kind of a jerk move.
Pretty sure they're double A's. Which I do not have.
Floors and a new game, Minecraft 91. The Waterball commented, villagers are 100% easier now than they've ever been. Yeah, absolutely. If you're not doing it on Bedrock, yeah. Absolutely. Bedrock, they're just stupid. So, why are my live streams my most popular uploads? That doesn't seem right, but fair enough.
A chair.
Huh?
I need a chair. I mean, I can take it off the wall, but I can't look inside.
Anyways, teaching my cousin how to play Minecraft Pilot. The water bottle commented, stop crouching, laughing, crying, emoji face, laughing, crying, emoji face. Yes. Absolutely. Very, very funny. And the last comment, some gold. Bedrock Let's Play 25. Waterball commented, build a dam. Gotta control that water. And we did. I'm still waiting on people to comment on whether I should make the dam wider or not, but is what it is. What? Why is this? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I had to work on something else in the meantime. Anyways, so a future of the channel-wise. Oh boy. So I'm currently working on a video on centripetal acceleration, but this is like 3 videos late, and the next 2 videos, one of which is on the Kepler laws. So that video is very in depth. That's gonna want to make me kill myself. And the other one is about this another day idea that I had. So Writing it won't be that intensive, but editing it will be very intensive. The last day, I did what should have been 3 hours worth of
You hear the
editing.
beep?
Yeah. I'm about to go get a battery. You need a 9-volt?
Is that what it is?
It's a battery.
Yes.
Could be.
Phil's
I saw
roommate,
3 volt.
everybody.
3-volt.
Is that what it said?
Where's the...
3 volt?
Yeah, that's I don't even know if you can replace it. Is there? I don't see like a screw.
And they're probably one
You
of the
just buy 'em
pop-up
like that?
ones. It's probably one of the pop-up ones. If you just hit it in the right spot, the little battery pops
Yes.
up.
Twist on, twist off.
Well, that's how I got it off. That's how I took it off the wall.
There's a little tray somewhere on it that if you click
Oh.
it pops
So what
up.
is-
No one's listening to me about how to replace batteries in a smoke detector.
No,
Anyway,
there's no tray that pops out.
twist it off. Or there's a
It
little,
doesn't.
Or there's a thing in the back.
We don't see a tab.
Look it up on Google.
No.
There's a model number, a serial number on the back. Look it up.
What's?
That's to... Wait.
But does it have? Because it says 3-volt sealed battery.
Well, the deal is, I've never seen one that has, like, plug into the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most of the apartments I've lived in,
There's a
Well, yeah, they have a thing that you pull out to insert the battery.
yeah. What's the other ones? Maybe it just came loose. Think?
Could just call the super. Anyways, I'm going to continue on time about the future channel. So, yeah. So,
I guess we'll find out.
It says sealed lithium battery.
Yeah.
oh, it's a watch cell, probably.
Sealed. Meaning we can't get into it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or,
So do you have to get a whole new unit?
or it's a watch battery.
In case of message or
Yeah, let me message the landlord and ask him.
in there. So, keep feedback. You can't run for 9-volt.
3-volt.
Well, there is no 3-volt battery that you can buy from Ace Hardware.
Yeah,
There's only
there
a
is.
9.
Watch. I'll pull it up on
Sam?
Google.
Do you think you can buy?
3-volt battery. No.
No, my cousin just said he can find one. He typed it in Google.
Oh my god.
3-volt battery.
Well, it's probably not a common battery.
Look at that. Holy
That
crap.
I've seen is 9-volt, which is why I keep saying it. Now,
There
they
you go.
have
3-volt.
it changed, yes, but that hasn't been my experience.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is exactly what I was
Okay.
talking about. East
And
Tech.
I'm just saying.
3-volt.
I'm just
100
saying what the
milliamp
thing
capacity.
says. It says 3.
Yeah, look at this. It's a button cell battery.
So are you going to call the landlord or you'll need?
CR20205, lithium battery, 3 volts.
If it keeps beeping, then I don't give a shit whoever messages.
Yeah,
Oh,
35
I can
cents.
go buy them. Say something.
Yeah.
Hazardous.
Because I think the office closes at 6 or 5.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
But I think they have a 24-hour emergency maintenance. But this isn't really an emergency.
oh, no.
I would agree.
I would just call the emergency number. It doesn't really matter.
Hasn't beeped yet. Maybe it just came unplugged, but the battery is dead. I don't know. So you is there something online where you message them?
Yes,
Well, no, I just called the
CR2025.
number. Because on our lease agreement, it has like the number.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did in the past. I just called that number. And if no one answered, I left a message and they'd call me back.
Mhm.
And then, I just tell them what's up. And they say, okay, we'll send a maintenance guy over. Is it okay if they enter your apartment if you're not home? I say,
Yeah, that would be what. You want
It-
to
it's-
or if I can
It's
I guess if it beeps again later tonight.
just leave a message.
it's
Yeah.
probably this battery right here. The Panasonic CR3032 3 volt.
Yeah.
button cell battery.
Well, thing is, I think it's sealed within the thing.
Like I said, just look it up on Google. It'll tell you exactly either how or you can't take it apart. And you'll take it apart, you'll pop this out, pop in a new battery. Hell, I think I have one in a drawer here in my apartment.
Well, no, I'm just saying that, we pay to live here. We have maintenance. They do that free of charge.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, either way, again, these cells are $1.
I mean, yes, it is something I could easily take care of myself. But I mean, if we live here and pay people to do it for us, it's like, why not, take advantage of that service?
I suppose. Well, anyways, back to the future of the channel. Off these 3-volt batteries. I have your roommate saying he hasn't heard of a 3-volt battery. He hasn't lived long enough in the world of button cell batteries. Anyways, they're coming out with all kinds of new batteries this day and age. Everything's got batteries in it anymore. And so they got all kinds of different types of batteries. 3-volt batteries. Yeah, he clearly hasn't licked a he clearly has not licked a button cell battery before.
I've licked a 9-volt battery.
I've wanted to. I just I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Wait, is that the square ones or is that a 5?
No, 9 volts of the squares.
Yes. Okay, so I've licked it because it's kind of hard to lick like a AA. You'd have to have a long tongue.
You have to just stick it in your mouth, and even then, I don't think those really.
The 1 volt, I don't think will give much of a tingle.
Yeah,
a 9 volt gives quite the tingle, I must say.
Well, yeah. Well, the 9 volts. I mean, also the terminals are much closer together.
That was back when I was young and stupid, and I had some toy or whatever. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't think it's working right. And then my dad said, lick it. I said, what? And he said, yeah, that's how you know if the battery's good. So I did, and it wasn't really much of a tingle. And so then I grabbed a fresh one out of the fridge, because we keep our batteries in the fridge.
Yeah.
And it gave quite the zap.
Yeah, you can stick those in water.
Quite the zap.
Yeah, you can stick those in water, and it'll split it into hydrogen.
Really?
Yeah.
Ruins it, I imagine.
I don't know. I watched Kyle Hill do it in a video today. I never watched. I stopped watching Kyle Hill because science ended, but he had some stuff on nuclear stuff I was interested in.
Oh yeah, he has had some. I don't know. Is that his Kyle Hill channel that he has? It's really good.
I was
The YouTube.
Yeah, I was procrastinating on writing the script of which I'm going to. I've written 1 paragraph of today, and that will be all I write today.
But yeah, the nuclear stuff was really cool.
Yeah. Talks about
the man who opened the door to a nuclear reactor.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Had his face zapped. That was an interesting story.
I didn't watch that one.
It was an interesting story.
That sounds like a Thoughty 2 video.
Oh yeah. yes. A Thoughty 2 video. Let's talk about the Olympics from 1906. Specifically the marathon.
That was the best. A
guy
video.
died. A man won running in shorts.
Well, that's not...
running in jeans.
Yeah.
And then you had another guy who, maybe it was the same guy, who raised enough money from his town to go to the Olympics and then gambled it all away before he even got there.
Yeah, and he could have won had he not eaten an apple.
Yeah, had he not eaten an apple.
And taken a nap.
And then another guy cheated.
Yeah.
He rode in the... Oh yeah, because they had a dirt trail, and it's like, oh yeah, let's set a pacemaker on a dirt trail with a car.
Yeah, and they were giving them poison.
Yeah, oh yeah,
as a stimulant.
They gave him poison. Here, drink up. This will help you.
It was also an experiment on dehydration.
Yes. Yeah. Little known fact, the entire thing was a dehydration. So apparently dehydration makes you perform better. Who knew?
But that wasn't the. Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't think that was the point of the experiment. But
Who
anyways,
knew?
the slowest Olympic time ever. Well, anyways,
Yes. That is the slowest winning Olympic time.
hey, if our video gets 1 million views, maybe you can beat an Olympic time.
See, that would be a very difficult thing, a difficult record to break again. The slowest winning time. That basically means you need everyone in the race to be on the same page where, hey, let's run super slow, okay? Yeah, I know you're not going to get a good time, but we're purposely trying to break the slowest winning time record. So you basically have to convince every single person there not to speed up.
Well, no, I'm just saying that you when you go to run your marathon.
Oh yeah, my time could be better than the worst winning time.
Well,
yeah.
I know it's the worst winning time, but I mean it's an Olympic time. That's the cool part.
I think that it still is like a decently fast pace. Wasn't it still like 2.5 hours?
It's 3 hours.
Oh, it's 3 hours?
Yeah.
Is that average?
I don't know.
I honestly don't know what average is. I just know 2:30 is like still really good.
Yeah. I'd have to look at what the. Anyways, point. That doesn't matter. Point.
I think under 4 hours is respectable.
Anyways, but yeah, Kyle Hill though. I don't know. I don't like his new style of videos. I don't know. Because science was okay. I liked it a lot, but there towards the end, I didn't like it so much. It got very pandery, and like a lot of his videos, they had to really stretch to get to where he wanted to be. And the one video,
yeah, go on.
And the one video I watched today, I don't remember what it was about, and I was very disappointed by the outcome, because what I thought he was going to do was not at all what he actually did, and I was very upset with it.
What's that?
Let me look at my history. Oh, I now know how I got onto that thing. Anyways, this one right here.
Read it out.
Why Homer Simpson should be dead. I didn't like this video. He didn't explain why.
Do all of his videos revolve around TV or movies?
I think he tries to, yeah. Yeah, for the most part. That makes the science more relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like how he went about that one. This is a cool video by the... Okay, I shouldn't say it was cool. It was interesting by the Modern Rogue. I didn't like how they literally just said microwave radiation is okay. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
microwave?
It's
It's non-ionizing.
Right. It's non-ionizing in the event that it won't give you cancer. But if you stuck your nuts in a microwave, you're not going to have kids ever again. Or that the fact that, I don't know,
really?
Microwaves fry electronics.
You do realize that TVs and Wi-Fi use microwave, right?
Right. But, and there's studies that have shown that women have gotten breast cancer for keeping their cell phones in their bras.
How do you prove that?
For one thing, all the tumors in these women that had cancer were in the same spot that the cell phone was kept. And it was a disproportionate...
See, I just find that very difficult, very hard to believe.
Again, no one's ever proved it, but there is evidence to show that increased cell phone usage has effects on...
There's a correlation.
Yeah, there's a correlation. No one's been able to prove it yet. But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's a correlation saying that the more time men spend on their cell phone, the more likely it is for their sperm counts to be lower.
Well, because phone's in the pocket or something?
No, well, so this must have been back in the day where, see, I think a lot of these were, I don't know. I think a lot of these studies were from early days of smartphones, so like, it is what it is.
But like, you do see my point, right? It's like Wi-Fi is virtually impossible to escape unless you go out to the rural part of wherever.
Right.
Because everywhere in the city there's Wi-Fi, meaning you're constantly surrounded by microwave radiation.
Right. Well, also, they should have just
and not only that. This is the kicker, okay? This is the real kicker that always gets me. Okay, so there's all these things about microwave radiation being harmful, right? Well, let's take it up a notch. Visible light. We've had incandescent light bulbs since the early 1900s. Hell, the sun puts out visible light.
Right.
That's 1,000 times more energetic than microwave.
Well, no.
And how come we've never heard about this since prior? How come there's nothing going on in the 50s or the 40s about this? Why is it all of a sudden popping up now? Which is why I find it so hard to believe that it's microwaves if they're so less energetic. How is that possible?
Well, people didn't want you next to the microwave back in the day. B, we're adapted.
Is more energetic than a microwave.
Listen, we are adapted to visible light. We were not adapted to microwaves.
But microwaves are less energetic. Why does it matter?
I don't know. Again, I'm just saying, though, that they should have said something. Because it's not like... Because also, cell phones haven't been around that long. Also,
yes, we've evolved with visible light. I mean, yes, that makes sense why visible light would not cause cancer, because we have literally evolved since the early dawn of leaving the ocean to encounter the sun's light and live with it. So if you take something like a microwave, which is 1,000 times less energetic, why should that matter?
Again, I don't know. All I'm saying is that they should have said a bit more about microwaves. Yes, the science says they should be fine. But they literally said, I could curl up next to a microwave. And I'm like, no, you should not. I don't care if they're less energetic. It's a form of radiation that we're not adapted to and that we honestly haven't been doing that many studies on. So, God forbid that, in 50 years we figure out...
Cancer, though, that just doesn't make sense. Because not only that, phones are... Well, no, I guess they do. I was thinking phones are like a microwave receiver.
Oh, but they emit it as well. They're huge.
They do when you make a phone call. But if you just have it in your pocket, it's a microwave receiver. It's receiving.
Cell phones constantly send and receive signals. Constantly.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Unless they're in airplane mode, right?
Yep. Your cell phone is constantly sending and receiving signals. Hell, even in airplane mode, they're not completely shut off.
And when they are powered off?
Are
they completely off?
I don't think so.
See, that's another thing.
I want to say that they are, but I don't think so.
If you completely power down something, right? There must be some type of analog switch going on. Because
you rip the battery out, then it won't.
What? No, well, I'm just thinking, right? There must be some type of analog physical hard switch inside a battery, right? Mm-hmm. Because how can you turn on a device if it's powered off?
Oh, crap.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. I clicked the wrong button.
I said, how can you turn on a device if it's powered off with an electronic signal, right?
Well, I mean, all cell phones have... you can't... Unless you... So, here's the interesting thing. all electronic devices, like the motherboard of my computer, even if I unplug it, it has a lithium-ion battery, a CMOS battery on the motherboard to keep the BIOS alive. Without the battery,
BIOS.
the BIOS,
What is
whatever,
bio?
the
What does it
BIOS.
stand for?
I
Yeah, I don't-
don't know what it stands for, but basically it's the coding that runs your CPU and your motherboard.
Oh, okay. And so that has a battery that's constantly running,
So when the power gets
or it runs when there's no power supplied.
right, when there's no power, it runs because it's necessary. Otherwise, you break your system. And
Okay.
and a lot of motherboards die. The sad part is, a lot of computers die because the battery died. You have no idea that it's dead. Then one day, you turn your computer off, like you unplug it from the wall, and it never turns back on. And your motherboard's shot.
Oh, I wonder if maybe that's what happened to my phone.
I don't know about I don't know how cell phones
because
work.
I'm curious. Well, that's also why I kind of wanted to do our drop experiment. Purposefully try to break it because I want to look inside and see how it's designed. Because I wonder if there is another battery. Because I would explain why after the battery of the phone died, it was never able to recharge. Well, there's two reasons. One is the cells are just soft shorted and they just will not charge.
Mm-hmm.
That is one possibility. However, that's a brand new battery. I don't think that's the case because that battery is only like a year or two old that I put in my phone because I got a new battery, and then I got a new phone.
Well, yeah. Well, anyways,
And I bet so maybe it just be that the battery was just never charged for so long because I got a new phone that then eventually the circuit card's battery died as well. And now it will just never be able to revive itself.
I don't know about cell phones. Possibly, I just know on computers they have a CMOS battery.
It'd be a really tiny battery though.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know about cell phones.
Because the bulk of a cell phone is the battery.
Right. That's why I don't know about cell phones. I will say, funny enough, the batteries that they put on these boards are literally those button cell batteries we talked about earlier. Wow, look at that. We've come full circle, isn't that?
It still hasn't beeped yet, so I don't know.
I swear, smoke detectors beep randomly.
We'll find out.
There's no time interval, I swear. Anyways, so they're literally the button cell batteries. That's the interesting part. Well, anyways, so how did we get on to? Oh, right. I don't want to. I don't want to be part of the conspiracies. I'm just saying that they shouldn't have just said what they said about microwaves. I think they should have put a little bit more. Yeah, in theory they're safe, but at the same
Wait,
time,
what is this article you read?
It was Modern Rogue. It was a YouTube video.
Well, it was a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And it was called what?
Radiation 101.
Radiation 101?
Yeah.
By who? Modern Rogue?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not great. Their scientist was he didn't have the guts to kind of say the kind of crap that I would have liked him to say about radiation. He also...
So is he a YouTuber that just says stuff that he learns online, or is he like an actual electrician or whatever? Like, does he actually have a qualified degree?
So, I don't know what Modern Rogue is. This is like their third video total I've seen of their stuff. They kind of just make random videos about stuff they find interesting that they're thinking about one day. And
to me, well, I guess I can't say for myself, but like, have you ever heard of Silence Asylum?
Yeah.
I think he does a lot of research, like reading textbooks, and I don't think the bulk of his videos are made from what he knows. Like, he probably has a degree in physics or something along those lines, but I feel like a lot of what he's learned and talks about is stuff that he's read about in depth in textbooks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Well, anyways, these guys got an actual like professional in the field of radiation to come out and talk about radiation.
and he talked about this
Well,
about cancer.
No, he didn't. The microwaves causing cancer thing. That was me. That was just me being skeptical. He didn't say crap. It was one of the other. He just said like, "Oh, microwaves are safe." He didn't mention anything else. He just said they're safe. He didn't say.
You were saying how if you cool up around a microwave, that's bad.
Yeah, because one of the people in the video, like the two of the people who are on the two hosts of the show, Modern Rogue or whatever the heck, whatever. Anyways, he was like, "Oh yeah, I could just curl up with it at night," and I'm like, "No, just because of the ionizing radiation, and just because we're pretty sure that they don't cause cancer, doesn't mean you should just curl up with a microwave with a magnetron." Okay. I don't want to get into, the conspiracy theory crap, but I'm saying there is a probability that we just haven't studied it enough, because who wants to expose themselves to a crap ton of microwaves?
Well, you do also have to remember microwaves also have a wavelength that is larger than the net. So the mesh thing on the cover door, that is so microwaves cannot escape out the glass. It's that way you can, one, look at your food, and two, to keep the energy concentrated with inside the microwave.
Right. But the way they didn't. But see, I don't know. They kind of just glanced over the microwave thing, and I'm like, what? And then they got to the radiation. They had an old TV, and they were measuring the X-rays being generated with this guy's Geiger counter, and then they had a piece of uranium glass, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'd be comfortable to have this in my house," and I'm like, but like, I don't know. He was so like, he would say one thing, and then it just didn't, like, the radiation scientist. He just didn't have the guts to. He was like, well, it's all about dose versus this versus that. Then I'm like, then explain. Then explain that. He just talked about, well, it depends. It's like, explain.
It sounds like he sounds like he almost didn't want to be there.
Kind of. He was just like, well, kind of. It depends. And I'm like, explain that then. Why are you saying that the TV, that the radioactive bull that was hitting over 1,000 counts per minute was safer than the TV that was only emitting 60, 80 counts per minute?
Radioactive bowl.
Yeah, they had a uranium glass bowl.
That's safer than a what?
Than an old cathode ray tube TV emitting only 80 counts. Like the way he made it sound. And I'm like, no.
It probably, if that is the case, it'd be the X-rays that are being emitted from the TV. Those are more powerful than the radiation emitted from the bowl.
Right. But he didn't explain. He just was like, I would eat
like
out of
I
it.
said, he sounds like he was not passionate to be there.
Yeah. He was
He
like,
didn't really care to be there.
He was like, I
They
wouldn't
found
eat it.
some guy, some schmuck, who was forced to go there because his boss told him to, or whatever have you. And he's like, really? Really? All right, whatever. And he's like, so this because of this, right? Yeah. Well, can you tell more? No.
Yeah, he's like, well, it's all about
like.
the exposure and blah, blah. But didn't explain it. Yeah. I'm like, explain then. Because, like, I'm pretty damn sure if I set that thing next to if you sat next to that bowl under your pillow, you're going to get freaking cancer a lot quicker than if you sit next to that freaking TV.
Yeah, but so the TV has radioactive ore with inside it?
No. So what happens is, so this was an old cathode ray tube TV. So you're shooting electrons, which are virtually, it's
Yeah, but the TV's off.
No, it was on.
Oh, never mind then. Okay, yeah, I understand.
Anyways, and the X-rays were leaking.
Yeah. Well, they must be more powerful, I guess.
But he didn't mention that.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about that. He also said, it's kind of whatever. I'm like...
Wait, what? It's kind of whatever. What? Excuse me, sir. Excuse you.
It was kind of the same deal with Kyle Hill with the Homer Simpson video. I wanted him to talk about exposure, or why did he pick the Cobalt 60. Instead, he just kind of was like, just kind of hand waved over it. I'm like, explain it. I don't give a crap about whatever the hell he explained after that. I want to know I wanted to know the question why I clicked on the damn video.
Yeah, that would explain my 4 years of physics for you. All 4 years, just a bunch of hand waviness. Except the thing is, they don't tell you it's hand waviness until like your last 2 years, and they're like, "Yeah, so everything we told you is kind of an approximation that's half right."
Well, no. What was even worse is at the end of the video, they went to this this bus that was a converted railroad car that was used in the atomic bomb testing.
Okay.
And one of the guys, the host's wife, didn't want to go see it. I don't remember how or why. They didn't really mention why they were going to go see this. Anyways, the wife didn't want to go see it with them because she was worried about the radiation from the atomic bomb test. And so they went there with Geiger counters, and there was no radiation. And the guy's like, well, yeah, it's probably because the cesium, it never got exposed to the cesium, or the cesium got cleaned off at some point. And I'm like, but what about neutron radiation? Which has the ability to make things radioactive. And if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the main radiations being emitted by the stupid plutonium inside the damn bomb. Because they also was
can't that be detected by Geiger counter?
Neutron radiation?
Yeah.
Well, no. I'm talking about neutron radiation that was emitted by the bomb or the fallout that then made the literal parts of the trailer radioactive.
Well, I thought you said the Geiger counter found nothing.
Right. But again, he didn't talk about that there could have been a probability of neutron radiation interacting with the metal. Maybe he didn't need to, maybe because it's not likely, but that's the main radiation being emitted by plutonium-235. Or 236. One of those two. I'm just like, what? I was very upset. And also, that was also something that was not talked about on in Kyle Hill's radiation video. He was just like, there's 3 types of radiation: alpha, beta, gamma.
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota.
And I wanted to just like scream, like, what about neutron? And technically, you want to include ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. But if we're talking solely neutron-generated ionizing radiation, then yes, there's still 4 types: alpha, beta, gamma, neutron. But if we're talking about all the types of ionizing radiation, then gamma should come with an asterisk that includes
alpha, beta, gamma,
the window
neutron, gamma. What? So alpha, beta, gamma,
neutron,
UV, X-ray.
Right. That's why I was like, if we're talking atoms, then yes, it's alpha, beta, gamma, neutron. But if we're talking about all types of ionizing radiation, then gamma should have a asterisk next to it that also
ionizing radiation. Because, see, technically, there are many more types of radiation. Technically, gravitational waves are a type of radiation. Hello?
Anyway, yes, I know, because microwaves are radiation, invisible light's radiation. We're talking ionizing radiation, though. Yes, I
Yeah,
would.
so, yeah,
Ga-
gravity cannot.
gamma needs to
That'd
be
be cool, though.
gamma needs to be included with an asterisk that says X-rays and UV. And actually, there's hard X-rays and there's soft X-rays.
Yeah,
Soft are
sure,
generated by electrons, and hard are generated by the nucleus.
I thought the nucleus is gamma.
Oh god, but there's hard and soft X-rays.
I thought that was just by the frequency. One's shorter, one's longer. I don't know.
No. There was a distinction. I'd have to reread. Maybe the guy in the video reread it, and that my original knowledge was correct when I said there's hard and soft gamma rays. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Point is, yeah. I love how the guy in the radiation 101 video was like, yes, it's soft X-rays. I'm like, there's the glints of the kind of information I'm expecting to come from you, but you say nothing.
Yes.
It's like, you're clearly competent. You just mentioned something that no one else has any idea of what the heck you just said. No one else knows what soft X-rays are. I know what soft X-rays are. I thought I did.
Well, you thought you did.
But now, well, because of him, I'm second guessing myself. But now, it's like, that's the kind of information that I want to know about. But no, instead, he says nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, just very frustrating. And actually, I don't even know if neutron radiation is ionizing technically. It just makes other things radioactive, and then those products generate alpha particles, which is ionizing, and that's what causes issues. And the only reason why alpha particles are ionizing is not because they come in and destroy. It's not because when they come in they destroy DNA. It's when they stop and they're no longer moving at high speeds. They rip electrons from things, and that's what breaks the DNA. Not them actually physically crashing into the cells, it's them ripping the electrons away once they've slowed down enough. Which is why it's so much more dangerous than like beta radiation. Because gamma and X-rays, they kind of just pass right through you. They don't interact that much. I mean, they still are dangerous, but they kind of just pass through. Beta is only one electron. Alpha is 2 electrons. That's why it's so much more dangerous, and it's got a lot more mass. Anyways, 4th segment time. The return of the trip. Yes. So the next 2 podcasts we'll be talking about the trip, and the last podcast will be up on the.
Wait, what? The next 2?
Sorry, the next. Well, actually, technically, yes.
Oh, what about the organs?
That's not a podcast. It'll be a live stream at some point.
That's a live stream.
Yes, and I don't know. I haven't had time to really prep, or like, maybe we'll do a live stream this weekend. I don't know about the channel and how it's been 5 years. I don't know if I wanted to build a montage for it, but I just haven't had the motivation or the time. But I still want to do some sort of live stream. What? What are you saying?
I was making a joke. I said 5 years is something difficult to get excited about.
Anyways.
It was a joke.
Well, you mumbled through it. Anyways, Doesn't matter. Point is, technically, yes, next two not live streams, podcasts, but the next podcast will be the Friday, will go up the Friday of or the Friday before, depending on when we decide to leave, depending on the weather, for our next trip out west. And then so that will have Kyle. Kyle will be coming back. We're doing it, I think, I don't know when specifically. We're doing it sometime before that Friday. I have to have time to edit it, but yes, we'll do it sometime before that Friday. It'll be very exciting. Maybe I'll do a premiere and watch it with you guys and see if people respond. It'd be a waste of my time because I know not a single person will be there. But
What?
well, I have that Friday off, and I would maybe want to set it as premieres and see if people talk in the chat. But I know for a fact no one will be there when I go to watch it, so it would be a waste of time.
Wait, watch what?
The podcast.
Sorry, I said something happened. The last thing I heard was Kyle will be there.
Oh. Anyways, I might set the podcast as a premiere, but no one's going to watch it anyways, so what's the matter? Anyways, people like the regular science videos way more. Let's get way better views than anything else. But they're a lot of work. I enjoy it. Well, I hate the writing of it. That's why I'd rather have you write and then I make the videos. But yeah, it just kind of is what it is. Anyways. So the trip. What I was trying to say about the trip was, while I was waiting for my tires to get repaired, I wanted their Wi-Fi so I could watch a movie or Big Bang Theory on Vudu. But their Wi-Fi password didn't work. No, it just didn't work. So I didn't have any Wi-Fi. So I used a tiny bit of data to download Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, the audio for it. And I sat there and listened to that because I didn't want to read a book that morning. And so I had my Galaxy Buds with me. So I just put those in, turned it on, and I sat there and listened to it. So we could listen to Astrophysics for People in a Hurry on the way up to Mullen.
Sounds like that could be fun.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I had to go before I got to my favorite chapter, which is chapter 7.
Which is what?
It's about the periodic table.
How long is it? The whole thing?
Let me see how far I got. God damn it.
Because we may need like another book or 3.
Well, I was gonna watch a movie after that.
Oh.
It'll cover most of the trip, most of the way there.
Oh, it's like 5 hours?
It's like 4. Maybe not quite that long, but yeah, it's pretty long. So it's still faster than I could read it. Well, I shouldn't say I could read it and keep up with his pace. Maybe even past his pace.
Understand and follow? Or?
Yeah, probably not. But like read it at a pace that I'm comfortable with? No.
Yeah.
Like I can read really fast, but am I comfortable with reading at that pace? No.
That's the thing, those professional readers, like, there has to become a point where it's just so fast that they're more concerned about keeping a pace than understanding what they read.
Me, it's not even really understanding. I just like a speed that's, well, at work, it's kind of, I read slow to take up time.
Oh my God.
Because they're like, oh, you just read that over one morning. Not like you're actually like, they're like, oh, you read it one morning. That's all you did. I'm like, that's because that's all it took. I could read the same damn report every single day if you want me to. Hell, I could read it probably multiple times per day.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to. And I could retain probably the same amount of information. But I'm getting paid on a per-time basis. So...
Yeah, hourly.
And it's like, he gave me a month to get to this goal. So, it's like, I don't really need to spend forever reading the same thing. So, it's like... Anyways. It's whatever. Point is, so the trip, right. When is Kyle's last final, do you know?
He told me the 16th is when he wants to do it. The podcast.
No. We can't do it the 16th. We'll do it a week later than that. When is
or
his...
after the 16th.
Right. When is his last final, though?
I don't know. Friday? Thursday?
My God, what was wrong with you two? Why'd you guys have such late finals?
What do you mean?
I never had finals that late in the week.
I did.
Right, that's what I'm saying. What's wrong with you two?
It's not what's wrong with me. That's how UNL scheduled it.
Well, anyways, I just feel bad for the poor schmuck having to wait an entire week. Hell, I didn't even stay for the final.
I didn't have to wait an entire week. I had like one final a day.
Well, no, you still had to be there for the entire damn week. That's what I'm saying. My first semester, yeah. I think I didn't even stay for the last week. I think I left.
Okay, well that's my first semester. My first semester I was done by like Tuesday.
Right. I don't.
That was my first semester. That's what they do for the younger kids. But like the later semesters, like my final year, I had finals up until Friday.
Somebody at work, he was talking about a final he had to do, and I was like, finals were the only thing I did. Tests, not projects, tests. Final?
I've had a project final. It's for an ACE course.
As have I. I've had lots. Yes, that's strictly for what they were for. I can't remember anyways. Yes, I've had final, and I did procrastinate on those. But for final tests, those are the only things I did not procrastinate on. I got those done as soon as possible. And I complained to the professor. I'm like, listen, if you're not going to teach us this week, release the final now so I can get it done and over with. I'm not going to wait a week to take your damn final. It's open book, open note. I'm not going to study for it. I don't need to. It's pointless. I have everything I need at my fingertips. Just give me the damn test. That's kind of how I
complained to professor.
No.
Oh, what?
Well,
you said you did.
Well, maybe I did for one professor, but that's just because I hated the TA for that class. She's a pain in my butt. Hated her, and she was the one teaching it, so I felt fine just going and complaining to her. Anyways, because it's like I'm not waiting around. That was also the one teacher who I got one of the higher grades. Not the highest grade, but I got a pretty high grade compared to the average. And I told her I did it in like an hour.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this story.
And you could kind of see in her eyes like, how the frick did he do that? Kind of like, you could kind of see in her eyes like, is my stuff not that difficult? Well, first of all, this is a freshman level class, and I'm a senior. This is a freshman level class for public policy, and I'm a senior doing public policy. So, what you think is difficult is not difficult for somebody who's been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only 2.5, actually. Actually, only like a year and a half at that point. So it's like, what you think is tough is not that tough, man. I've seen it all. Actually, most of my public policy classes were pretty easy. They were all freshman level classes. I never really took anything difficult. I didn't have to, so. Yeah, most difficult class I took, I didn't even know what was going on in it. That's how difficult it was. If I were to rank the level of difficulties for my classes, it would go econometrics, intermediate macroeconomics. Micro. And then I would say intermediate macroeconomics. It's hard to say between that in the internet and trade. In trade of third world economics of developing countries. Sorry, it's hard to just debate either if that class was harder or if the other class was. It's hard to debate which one of those was more difficult. Because I understood the concepts for for economics of developing countries. I understood the concepts a lot better, but not the math. I understood the concepts maybe a little bit less in macro, but the math I definitely had a better handle on it. So it's kind of hard to say. And so it's like I had a really good grasp. So maybe intermediate macroeconomics was more difficult than international trade. Actually, yes, I'm going to say that. Yep, not international trade. Economics of developing countries. Yep. So all my hardest classes were business college classes. At least those 4, and then those were all 300, 400 level class. They were all 300 level, except for the international except for economics of developing countries, blah. And then I think international trade, that might have been my next. It wasn't hard necessarily. Yeah, that one's kind of debatable on whether it was hard or not. Yeah. That one's debatable.
Yeah.
But they'll be kind of a wash after that. I mean, I could put those 2 online classes that I took where he had a bunch of PowerPoints made, but none of them worked. None of them had audio in them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I did not study for those classes.
Yeah.
And I virtually didn't go to a single class. So, kind of take that as you will. B-Law 300 was relatively difficult. I mean, his assignments where you had to read case studies, your case studies for assignments, those weren't hard. They were just time consuming because you had to read Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah.
Which is like 70 some odd pages. Luckily, by the last one, I figured out where the answers were. Where to get to the judge's final opinions. Mm-hmm. And then, which is only like a page or maybe a paragraph. And so I had to figure out how to write an entire 2 pages about that. But
this is a little off topic, but how is this interconnected with the trip?
I don't know how we got onto this.
I just been letting you ramble for 5-10 minutes. I'm like, this has nothing to do with the trip.
We've
we're
talked
talking about his finals, and then you started talking about your finals.
Oh, great! I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do on this one. Well, yeah, I mean, this whole podcast has been.
So
wild.
yes, after this week is done with this final.
Can you please say Kyle? God forbid, save me something. Anyways, okay, so if Kyle's done Thursday, can he jump on
Friday? I don't know if it's Thursday or Friday.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Whenever he's done, he needs to jump on getting his where he wants us to go and all that crap like figured out and sent
Well,
to
yeah,
you.
I'll text him afterwards. I just wanted him to focus on his school, and then I'll text him. Because if I text him now, he'll start thinking about
I
it.
know. That's the irritating part. Like if you sent me, I mean, not that I focused on my studies anyways, but if you had sent me a text to say, "Hey, when you're done with your finals, start working on this for me," I would have done that had I actually focused on my finals. Had this been
Yeah.
high school, yes.
He has already sent me a few ideas. So, I mean, I already have a few things, and then I know you told me the main thing for you was Toadstool,
Yeah.
and that's all that I've heard for you in terms of a must.
Yeah. And I was thinking about, if we end up staying at like different hotels and stuff to save gas. I'm not
Yes.
entirely against it because I mean, we're out west. Like we can drive a short distance to get to a Bortle 1. Not a Bortle 1. A
Bortle 2, at least.
Bortle 3 at least.
Bortle, yeah, everywhere is a Bortle 3.
Yeah.
And like an hour drive maximum for like Bortle 2.
A good Bortle 2.
A good Bortle 2, mind you, yeah.
Yeah, and we've seen a bad Bortle 2 and it was still pretty good, so.
Yeah.
We've seen a really bad Bortle 2 and it was still really good, so.
It was actually kind of cool seeing a Bortle 2 because you see...
Right, yeah.
It was actually kind of cool because you see the light pollution, how it just ends.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing it light above the sky, it was actually kind of cool seeing a Bortle 2. But, there's something to be said about those, and then there's a Bortle 1 where it's just like, this is nice. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I can't wait to go back. I just hope I hope this trip just really pans out.
Yeah.
I really want it to.
I mean, like I said, we'll have like a week there.
I will say, we don't need to bring any other lenses with us. We'll just bring my big lens.
Our big lens, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to bring... So there's one less tote we have to bring. Because last time, we brought the tote of lenses, which didn't take up a lot of room, but it's still something. That's one less thing we have to take with us. Instead, I'll just throw this big lens in the stargazing kit and call it good.
Yeah.
Or I throw it with the camera and I just take my binoculars and like my headlamp, like just take a few items from it, like the blanket, the headlamp, and the binoculars.
Yeah.
If we're really concerned on space, it's gonna be tight, but I think we'll be fine.
I don't think we'll be that concerned on space. Those items are not that big.
Well, it
The
depends.
biggest thing for
It's
me
Kyle.
is the cooler and chairs.
Right. Well, like I said,
If
you
the
don't
coolers
have to...
and chairs and telescope can fit, I'm not really too worried about what else we bring.
Right. I'm not really too worried about... We could probably bring a pretty small cooler, because, again, I told you what my plan is, so...
Well, I mean, the only cooler... No, I guess we have that red one. The red one's smaller. I was thinking the green and blue one, but no, I was like, the red cooler is slightly smaller, but it's still decent size.
I will say, if we are able to get the cabin, I want to have a barbecue.
So we need to bring some hot dogs.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, hamburger or something.
We could bring, I don't know if they have a grill. I guess I can call and ask. But, Mom has a portable grill.
Yeah.
How you just like throw charcoal or whatever in it.
Yeah, but you don't want to throw that in your car, though.
I mean, it's clean now.
Yeah, but
We
afterwards...
just have to clean it before we leave.
Yeah, you want to do that in the dark?
Well, no, we're sleeping there. We do it in the morning.
Oh, true. Yeah. That's like, I want to have like a barbecue, which if we were on somebody's land, we could do that. But like on the side of the road, on somebody's driveway,
Yeah, that's kind of sus.
we can't have a grill, and it really sucks. It's like we're basically camping. Like we're going it's like 90% of the way to camping, right?
Yeah.
Could you say it's like 90% of the way there? Like
I
you're
don't know,
pretty much
sure.
maybe less, maybe like 75% of the way there. You're out in the wilderness. your
Wilderness. Well, how do you define wilderness?
There's nothing there. There's not even a cell phone signal.
When I think of wilderness, I think of trees, like a forest.
Unfortunately, what's defined as the wilderness here in Nebraska is the middle of a sandhill.
Yes, that is true.
So, yeah. There's, I can't wait to go back. That'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, I still haven't made the phone call yet, but I'll have to.
But we gotta wait till Kyle's done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but but I could still call him before, and just see how busy he is this time of the year.
I mean, truth be told, this is provided that the best day is before Memorial Day. If the best day is after Memorial Day, like that Tuesday or Wednesday, I highly doubt he will have somebody there.
Yeah. So
because
actually,
no one's going to take off.
I talked to my roommate, actually. He just went out, he has family out in Shattern, which is upper northwestern corner, because but he was telling me that there was no one out, like, there was, he went to, like, Shattern State Park, and it was very quiet, like, not a whole lot of people there.
When?
Last week.
That's not, yeah, but that's last week. That's not Memorial Day.
But my point is, though, is 4th of July is a busy time for out west, because that's when that's like the middle of the summer. That's when, peak time, 4th of July, Memorial Day is like when summer is first getting started.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's the tail end of younger kids still being in school, and parents still having to work on that Tuesday or whatever. And so some people may just make it a long weekend. And so I feel like it'll be hit and miss.
Yeah, because, like, I know for a fact Branch Oak Lake is busier than hell on Memorial Day weekend.
But that's the weekend. My point is the day after, which is why I plan on doing our Lake McConaughey like that Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh, also, one more thing. Before we end the podcast, we do need to end it, because I have to edit a video tonight. Still, I forgot about that. I have the opportunity to get a pass for the Lincoln Zoo, the Omaha Zoo, and, like, a variety of other zoos for $59. Gets me 1 year.
Is Scotts Bluff Zoo included?
I would assume so. I don't know. It's like 200 some odd zoos here in, like, Kansas City, Des Moines.
Because I had a friend that told me, Scotts Bluff Zoo is kind of cool. He is from Scotts Bluff.
Well, either way, no, here's the crazy part about it, though. It's $59.
Unlimited access?
Unlimited access for a whole year for 2 people.
Oh, it's only 2?
Right. The plan was I buy it, you and Kyle just split the mission for the third person.
Oh, wait. Oh.
It's non-transferable. Okay. I can't, like, give it to you or Kyle and you guys go and use it. It's for me and a guest.
So who's the... Oh, so the guest would be me or Kyle. Or...
Kyle!
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, so I would split the price with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, one of us would be underneath the path.
Right.
Yeah.
I get in for free for a whole year.
And then could either...
This is Boo at the Zoo. This is... You don't get in for free for the light show, unfortunately. You get a reduced cost for the light show.
Oh. This is through the bank?
Yeah. Full year free. Here's the thing. You go to the Henry Doorly Zoo once with 2 people, it pays for itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the cost of admission to Henry Dory Zoo for two
When does
people.
it start?
Whenever I send the check in before the 13th. But it's like, I don't really have the money for it at the moment.
Oh, wait.
Unless I transfer out of my savings.
I mean, if you don't transfer out of your savings, I could definitely help out.
Well, yeah, if you... literally, if you and Kyle pay me, I will have no... I'm still got to transfer from my savings, so I might as well. Transfer
Yeah,
200.
do it.
Okay.
That'd be definitely something to do this summer.
Yeah, it gets us into the children's zoo for free as well.
Yeah. You said Henry Dorley's free too?
Yep. So the biggest cost at Henry Dory Zoo is literally gas and food. But if you just eat a big meal before you go, as long as you stay hydrated, you shouldn't have any issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, bring a water bottle if they let you or something.
Well, I mean, even then, you just drink at the drinking fountains.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. And, with that being said, with it's free access, now it's like, why not go in the middle of the week?
Yeah.
Now, granted, maybe not this summer, but this fall, I would definitely be willing to go in the middle of the freaking week. Take some PTO time.
Absolutely.
Go up to the zoo. Screw the summer. It's free. It's 1 year free access. Yeah, sure. We can go a weekend here.
We can go multiple times. We can go as much as we want.
Yeah.
The
children's zoo is like awesome because like ask a girl out on a date.
Jump on. Wait, the 13th is this weekend,
it's
right?
Friday.
Yeah. Make sure you sign up. And if cost is an issue, I'll help out.
Awesome, thanks. I just need you and Kyle to pay me back, and then most of my worries are solved. That's literally all I need. So. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's really freaking... It's $59, which is just crazy.
That's a crazy good deal. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the year pass alone is only $89 anyways.
Wait, what? A year pass at Henry Dolly?
No, without like the bank thing, normally is $89 for this same package deal.
Oh, so it's pretty cheap on its own.
Yeah. But
$89.
But very few people go to the zoo that often. But here's what I said. But here's what I told somebody. It's like, yeah, I don't go to the zoo that often, but now I have an excuse to go to the zoo.
Yeah. Well, see, I'll have to look into it because maybe we can go to the Scottsbluff Zoo.
Yeah, if I ever get a girl, if I ever ask a girl on a date or whatever, the zoo is an option.
The zoo.
And as far as she's aware, I'm paying admission, but we're gonna get there. I flash my ID and I just walk right in, and we just walk right in. That's the
Henry
crazy.
Dorley. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not even Henry Dorley. It's a children's zoo. We just go up. She's like, "Oh, do you need me to help you pay?" And I'm like, "No, I got this." Flash my ID, and they're like,
"Lincoln Zoo's all right." But
well, yeah, but I mean, like, for a first date, we're not going to drive all the way to Omaha. Not a first date, but
that's great bonding time.
One of the first dates, we're not going to drive all the way up to Omaha. But for one of the first dates, children's zoo, something I don't usually think about. But it's like, hey, this is an option now. And if we feel like it, we can always go to Des Moines or Kansas City. No, but it's really cool.
We have to look at we have to make one big trip to the biggest zoo that's on the list.
That's the Henry Dolly Zoo.
Yeah, but I feel like I've never been to the Kansas City Zoo.
But that's not one of the big zoos.
I feel like it's a big zoo, right?
Not compared to the Henry Dorley.
I mean, yes, Henry Dorley is the world's largest. Okay, that's all that Nebraska has.
Well,
just because we're number one doesn't mean that there can't be a close number two or three.
So that's the crazy part, right? Everybody's
the number one zoo is in Nebraska. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, everybody's like, oh, I want to go to the zoo or whatever. So you go to Henry Dorley Zoo because it's right there, and then you go to so you're in another state or whatever, and it's like, oh, let's go to the zoo. It's like, eh.
However, I will say I have heard the San Francisco. There
Or
is
San
something
Diego.
to be said. San Diego. There is something to be said about their zoo.
Now, granted, I've been to the Springfield Zoo. I don't remember much about it, but it had every zoo kind of has something different.
Yeah.
And so like the Henry Miller Zoo is like world class in like specific things, and like just kind of overall, it's better than most zoo and like than basically every other zoo, just kind of overall. But like there are certain zoos, like the Springfield Zoo, I thought had some cool stuff that the Henry Miller Zoo just didn't have. I don't remember. I just remember it did have some things that I thought was cooler. But
Yeah.
I will fill out the form and get a blank check and transfer some money. If you and Kyle could pay me as soon as possible.
Maybe this weekend.
Yeah. I'll have to see. I'll have to figure out what we're gonna do this weekend. I don't know. I gotta write this damn video.
Well, I think the majority of it is my brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I think
He
I
owes me like 60
18.
some odd dollars. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcasts every other Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time, and good night.